A Place in the Sun, Chapter 9. The Governor of Nubia. The governor turned the statue over in his hands. The gilded eyes of Sekhmet wept for him. He had a strange impulse to throw the statue against the wall. He shuddered. "You say a prisoner carved this?" The guard stood at attention. "We caught him in the camp. Another prisoner betrayed him." "Where is he now?" The governor placed the statue in the center of his desk. The eyes followed him. It made him uneasy. The guard stood straighter, being prepared for execution. Execution? The governor turned sharply to face the guard. The guard was confused. "The rules are clear." His voice faltered, and he drew back from the governor's angry stare. "But, sir, he stole gold from the mines." "You fool! Bring him to me at once." The governor turned his back on the guard. "You had best pray for your unworthy Ka that he still lives." The guard left the governor's office running. The governor sat facing the statue. He was sick of the grit that permeated everything in this godless wasteland. His skin itched from the film that coated it. The dust mixed with his sweat to form a clay shell that cracked and crumbled whenever he moved. He closed his eyes and pictured the blue waters of the Nile. To be clean again. He was no judge of great art. Who would be, he thought, living in this colorless, barren outpost? But he knew from the prickling on the back of his neck that this was something powerful, something rare. Rumor had reached the mines that the pharaoh's son lay ill at the palace, struck down by the plague. The governor had heard that the Great One himself was desperate, willing to try anything for his son. It wouldn't hurt to bring this slave and his trinket north. If by some miracle it worked and cured the pharaoh's son, the reward would be great. He'd get out of this stinking hole, maybe even have a choice of posts. Thebes. He'd stay in Thebes, perhaps even head the palace guard. The governor scratched his arm. His fingernails caked with grime. A hot bath every day. No choking on dust. The sound of shadufs creaking, their buckets swinging full of cool water from the Nile. The governor licked his cracked lips. A knock broke his daydream. "Enter!" The guard shoved the prisoner into the governor's chamber. Off balance from weakness, the boy fell to his knees when the guard let go of his arm. "What is your name?" They all looked alike, these vermin, flesh swinging loosely from their bones, eyes popping out of the filth that covered their faces. This one looked no different. "Senmut, son of Yuf, master sculptor." "You carved this?" The governor thrust forward the statue of Sekhmet, holding it at arm's length. Senmut looked at the statue gilded in the forbidden gold. His death certificate. He swallowed. "Yes, I carved the great healer." The governor studied the statue. He couldn't seem to stop looking at it. "Take him!" The guard grinned viciously. He took hold of Senmut's sidelock and yanked him to his feet. "Gently, you fool!" The guard looked confused again. Gently? What did it matter? The criminal would be dead inside the hour. The governor never took his eyes off Sekhmet. "I want him cleaned up. Make him presentable. I'm taking him to the palace." The guard stood still, sure that he could not have heard correctly. Senmut held his breath, not daring to believe his own ears. Was he dreaming? The governor scowled at the confused guard. "Move! Send word to prepare the barge. We leave for Thebes at first light."